Hi, my name is Eric Moreno. I'm an applicant for the Kagle Leadership Initiation for the summer of 2017, and this is the videography component of the application. So the first question is, how do I plan on managing the schoolwork, the co-op, personal life, and different activities or associations that I'm involved in school, while still being fully responsible of my duties as a Kagle leader? I think the the main components. So I mean, it's always hard to have a balance, right, between the different stuff or different activities that one person has. But I think the key aspects in order to be successful, um, like in all these different things, it's time management and discipline. I actually had um, so I had a story. Like I thought of an experience that I had when I first read this question. It was that I think it was summer, no, winters 2016. So I was just about to pledge my fraternity. Well, first, it was my first term taking 20 credits. I was pledging my fraternity. I was a tutor for OMSI. I was a tutor for the Kagle tutoring program back when it was still active, and I was also taking a certification for a program that the school was offering. So it was a rough term for me that time because I just had so much stuff to do and I couldn't get a hold on myself for quite some time because I was not able to I wasn't being able to handle all these different responsibilities, and I was like kind of falling apart in all of them. So after around 2 weeks, I sat down and I started making a schedule of how much time I was going to devote to every activity, right? And yeah, I mean, it looked bad, but at the end, that I think time management was what helped me successfully finish that term in all of the different things that I was involved in. But I think that discipline is one of I think that discipline is the key as it's a key aspect because you can make 100 schedules or you can plan your day 100 times, but if you don't have the discipline to follow through and to actively every day um, follow what you had planned, you're not you're not gonna accomplish it. So I think it takes time management and discipline. Um, Short answer, I think that's how I will plan to manage the all the different responsibilities that I have when I'm in school term or work term. I think it's just a matter of planning, commitment, and discipline to follow through. Um, Second question: what are some leadership activities you would like to do with student future leaders between the ages of 13 17, and what is the significance of each activity? So, while I was in, well, since I was in like middle school all the way through high school before I came here, my, well, yeah, my parents always got me involved in different um, community service activities. They took me to the orphanage to play with the kids every couple weeks or something. Um, they took us, well, they organized different like funding events to provide to like the retirement houses, etc. So I was always, I guess, into that kind of. I was always involved in that kind of stuff back when I was home, and then I got to high school and I got involved in the same type of activities, but in a different way. So so instead of volunteering to go to the orphanage, I volunteered to go um, to turtle conservation camps, to go to the beaches, collect the eggs, protect the turtles from being eaten by predators or being stolen by people to sell them because it's illegal in Mexico to eat or or sell turtles. So I started getting more into the environmental side of community service. I think I think those will be well. I think those will be some activities that I would like to do with the future leaders. I don't know when. I think especially community service, going to an orphanage, or going to a retirement house and talk to other people and trying to connect with them. I think that's one of the things that had the most impact on me. Um, Back when I was young, because it allowed me to see that I don't know. I think I was really privileged, not because I was wealthy, because not because I was wealthy, but because I've always had support from my family, and hopefully I haven't had to struggle um, poverty or any situation like that. And then I com- I think about people in the same situation and me as me complaining about different things and thinking it's the end of the world. But then we get to meet these people and interact with them, and it makes me realize. Well, it made me realize back then that we have a we're living like kings compared to other people. It makes you have a different perspective on what really is important, and yeah, I guess it just gave me a different perspective, and that's something that really touched me as a person when I was young, and I think that will be a great activity for the future leaders to get involved on. Um, and the other thing, it's I think the environment itself. Yeah, well, I enjoy environmental activities. So I don't know. What I was thinking is maybe we can just go to a park because I've gone to a couple parks in Flint, and some of them have like garbage on the floor. They're not like well maintained. So we can just go. I was thinking we can just go one weekend and like try to clean the park, try to fix some of the things that are broken, etc. I think that in Yeah, I think that kind of shows the kids cooperative work, how to all of them get together in order to accomplish something bigger than themselves. And I think that's important. Um, Not only for them, but also because they're helping the environment. They're like leaving a place better than how they found it. So I think that that will be both fun and also will um, enrich enrich them as persons in their values. Um, yeah, I think those are activities that I would like to do with the future leaders. Um, I will be happy to help planning those things and being involved at that moment. And yeah, I think they will enjoy it, and hopefully they experience or they get affected in the same way that I got affected when I passed through that. And the other question, the last question, is what are your thoughts and feelings about serving the Flint community? Please describe your community service experience, any community ties you may have, and potential service projects that have personal meaning. Um. Okay. So, what are my thoughts? Well, so please describe community service. As I mentioned before, I've been involved in many community service activities before. Is to go to the orphanage, retirement houses, um, turtle conservation camps. I for a year I back in high school, one of my professors had this program in which she got doctors, like American doctors, to come over to my hometown and go to like these really poor areas and provide free consultations and free medicines to free medicine to these people. to try to help them. But the thing is, these doctors only speak English, and they only like these people only speak Spanish. So I went for about a year, I think, maybe a little more, to translate. So I was in the consultations, and I was responsible of translating what um, the patients were feeling, their illness and everything, and I translate that to the doctor back and forth from the doctor to the patient as well. So that was really fun. I really had a lot of fun doing that because, well, I didn't know only did that. I saw all the kids that came with their parents for the consultations. Sometimes when we had more people, I was just in charge of like making activities to keep the kids entertained while their parents were busy. So I really enjoyed that time. I think I think that's one of the most recent community service activities I did, and yeah, and one of the ones that I like the most. So, what are your thoughts and feelings about the Flint serving the Flint community? I'm kind of excited because Flint as a whole, I think it needs maintenance. The city, I mean, I think the city as a whole is not in such a good shape. I think it could definitely use some maintenance, and yeah, for example, yeah, the roads are not good. Some of the different streets and stuff are really sketchy. Um, the public services as well. I remember I live close to a few friends from school. I'm in work term right now, and when I'm in work term, I live in Royal Oak, which is like 40 minutes or like an hour from Flint. So it's a good area. I like it. But then from my way to work, or like when I'm coming back from work, I've gotten stopped a couple times because I don't signal when I don't turn my turn signal when I'm switching lanes and stuff. And yeah, I've gotten stopped by that. And then I go back to Flint, and then like I'm riding with some of my friends, and they're just like at a red light. They see that no one's coming, and they just like pass through the red light. And I'm like, why did you pass it? Like you're gonna get in trouble. And they're like, it's Flint, dude. Nothing happens in Flint. There's no police in Flint. So I don't think that's a good perception of the city. I don't think that people thinking that, because I'm sure he's not the only one that thinks it. So I don't think that type of mentality is good for the community. So I think we could make some improvements in that area. And so that's like the physical aspect of the community, I guess. Now, talking about the people, I think there's a lot of like talent in Flint, and I, from what I've experienced, I think there's a sense of unity so far. Well, that's I'm talking since I came here in 2015. I've seen, so like this is something that I don't see, like for example in Royal Oak. I just go jog to the like the trails or something, and I see like groups of 50 people running together, and yeah, like they organize runs on the weekends and Sundays. I just used to like go jog too, and I see like um these groups of families going on a ride bike, well, riding bicycles through the trails together, and then they stop, they talk, they hang out, they bring food, and I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. I think there's a, at least from the parts that I've been in Flint, I think there's a sense of unity within the community, and I think there's talent too, because well, a lot of my friends that I have come from like Flint in school. Um, they're like they live like 10 minutes from the school or something, and they're just like really smart people. They're brilliant and they are down to earth. They're always willing to help, and I think that's something really admirable because I like something, yeah, sometimes I don't do that, and then I see them and they're like really nice and really dedicated, and I'm like, maybe I could grab some stuff from them, you know. So I think there's a lot of talent in the community, but I just think it needs to be fostered because people has this conception about Flint that it's just a bad place, and but that's the only thing they hear. They don't. I don't think they sometimes look at the good sides because there's always a good aspect of in this case the community, and I don't think they look at that in the same perspective and mentality influences. I think it makes an influence on the people from the community, and it brings them down in a way that they think like, yeah, well, we don't live in a good area. We don't there's no like much expectations or opportunities in here, so why should we even try? And I think that could be changed, and that could have a great impact in the society. So that's kind of how I feel about Flint, because I didn't even know this city before I came to Kettering the first time back in 2014. Um, but yeah, it's like they say like I've I've seen like reports or like things on TV like Kettering, Flint is the city with the highest crime rate in the U.S. But why don't they say like um Flint has a really good uh, community uh, activities. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I feel. Um, I don't think it's being portrayed accurately enough because, of course, I'm not saying that the crime rates are not true or false, but I'm just saying that shouldn't be the only focus. I'm just saying it shouldn't be the only focus because there are a lot of good things that could be a highlight too and could make people see that like all the good things that their community has to offer and could thrive to be even better than that. That's how a community improves as a whole. So I think those are the three questions. Thank you very much.